Hi, I'm Kaushik Tiwari. I am heading the Zomato business for Goa here. It has been my privilege to meet Mr. Samir, and through one of my team members, I was introduced to his book. It's a very, I wouldn't want to introduce it in the way that I felt it first, because there are two versions of the book. Once when I started reading it, and once when I finished reading it. So the book gets on you. First, when you start reading it, you start feeling, yes, this is one of the other management book that you're reading. It will give you some management gyan, is what we say. The previous management book that I read was from Robin Sharma, and I must say that this is very closely in interaction with that book, is because every one of us, especially me, there's a level of spiritualism that's there in everyone, and how much and how what's the potential of that spiritualism that we can hone in ourselves totally depends in our potential. I would take example of a seed. For example, a seed is in a dormant stage for a very long time. It needs that support, it needs soil, it needs water, it needs the ambience for it to grow. Is the same seed that transforms into a plant and then gives a fruit. Similarly, I think that food and soil this book can act as a food and soil for all those budding entrepreneurs who are right now in the dormant seed stage. It is a very interesting read about how a normal person who thinks that yes, at one point in time I would want to build up something big. Book is great in itself because it builds in a lot of case studies. So I was a person in which my background says that coming from an MBA, I would want to know that yes, if somebody is telling me this and if somebody is telling me how to do it, how many people have done it through that method? And if they've done it through that method and that is backed up with case studies, it only helps me build my case. So for example, of a Ford case study that's been taken or any other case study that's been taken in that book, it all only talks about the persistence and perseverance of a person which is taken ahead with the goals and targets that he has made for himself. I think for everybody who's already an entrepreneur, to become a better entrepreneur, you can have a read at this book. For somebody who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur, you can have a read at this book. If you're into any business stream or if you're a student, I would also recommend this to a lot of students because we might perceive it in different manner. A book, like we said, never judge the book by its cover. Similarly, never judge the topic of the book by what it's written. It could look like a management book, but you could have a different inference out of it once you finish reading it. Like I said initially in my conversation, that once I started reading the book, I felt it was a management book, but when I ended it, I thought it was a self-help book. So it can act as a workbook for life. I would recommend this to a lot of people, and have a good time reading the book. Thank you.